Our fiscal year ended on 6/30, and we recently published our report to the community, and that is available for anybody to see anytime. And it was, in fact, a very successful year, not only for the foundation, but what we do for the citizens of the Midshore area. And those 5 counties have about 172,000 folks in it, so it's mostly rural, as everybody knows. But we had $2.6 million in grants and scholarships that we provided for the 5-county area. And we supported 71 scholars, and those scholarships ranged anywhere from $500 for books to $20,000, just depending upon what it was. We have an excellent program for dual enrollment with Chesapeake College, with both Caroline County and Dorchester County. It has been a tremendous success. I'm working on programs now, like programs in both Kent, I hope in Queen Anne shortly, and Talbot also, because it gives kids a good start. Yes, we do make grants. We have a very thorough process in which we do that. We have 2 cycles, spring and fall, and we get grants applications in here. For our fall cycle, we have 38 grants applications. And we have a very active grants committee, which is representative of the 5-county area. And they spend a lot of time evaluating those grants, and they'll prioritize them, and they will make sure that they are looked at in several different ways. If Midshore itself can't fund it, maybe we have a donor fund that's interested in what they're doing. So there's a 2-tiered approach to that. So we think certainly that's important. We provide community leadership. If there is an issue in the area, we might get several or a handful of not-for-profit leaders together and try to tackle the problem together, as opposed to 3 or 4 different organizations going about to try to solve the same problem. Other things that we do, which I think are important, and we just finished up one of our educational sessions. We had 2 of them this last year, one spring and one fall. And they are open to any not-for-profit in the 5-county area. And we engage Maryland not-for-profits, and they're the professionals. And they will come down and they'll do seminars on governance. You know, how do you manage your funding? How do you raise funding? How do you engage your board? All those types of things that, quite frankly, every not-for-profit can do better. So we've just finished our 2nd session for the year, and this next year we'll do the same thing. We'll do an early spring and we'll do a fall session. We have a very active board, very active executive committee, and we have advisors in each of the 5-county areas. I meet with those advisors periodically and directors on their turf in their county, and we talk about issues in their county. How can the foundation help solve them? Things that we should get involved in and things we should not get involved in, which I think are important and critical too, because there are certain things you just don't want to go there, as the kids say. That input is critical. Something else we've done to engage our advisors and our directors in each of the 5 counties, we have a county fund, and that county fund was put together some 3 or 4 years ago, and it came from a fund that was started here in the foundation some 15 years ago. And it got to be about $500,000 in size. So the board and the advisors got together and they decided they would divide that and make individual county funds. So those advisors and those board members, they have a say in what happens with that fund. We think that's important. Those that are interested in donating to that particular fund for their county, that certainly is available. And last year, during our annual appeal, we had more and more of that than we've ever seen before. A couple things that we recently did. In Chestertown, the Harry Potter Festival, I understand it was a roaring success. It was supposed to be just great. We were their sponsor. We were their 501c3. And had a great purpose, great cause, and understand very successful for everybody, the merchants, the kids. It just went on and on. Another thing that we're doing in Queen Anne's County to help raise funds for a worthy cause. There's a group up there that's very interested in creating an endowment that will support the public school systems for the programs that they can't provide anymore, be it a band uniform or something of that nature. They're putting on a Dancing for Youth. We are their 501c3 and their sponsor. A couple of other things that come to mind: Airport Days. We had Airport Day in Easton. We have been their sponsor for the last 2 years, and they give their proceeds to a worthy cause every year. We did the same thing with the Easton Airport, which was a great time. I took my grandkids down there, and it was a terrific success. And Habitat Chop Tank was their beneficiary. We had a great program in Caroline County that just got started. And if you've ever been to Federalsburg, there's not much in Federalsburg for kids to do. So a friend of mine who was involved in parole and probation most of his career retired, and he saw a need over there. So he and a friend have put together, they call it the South Caroline County Basketball League, and it will give those kids a place to go play basketball with a structured schedule and forum. And he got rallied around the town of Federalsburg, Caroline County, and the state of Maryland even provided a grant to blacktop a derelict basketball court. That's real cooperation from a lot of folks. That's a terrific success. So they're the kind of things that we've recently done, and obviously there are many, but there are two that come to the top of my mind. Something that we'll do we haven't done before: we're going to have an open luncheon meeting, which will be our annual report to the community. And it will be at Chesapeake College. It'll be on November 21st. And it is a luncheon business meeting. And we'll have our scholars there as an example. We'll have some of the not-for-profits that we supported. We'll have some awards which the foundation gives. And it will be an extremely nice event, and it will be a business type of luncheon. So if anybody's interested, please let us know and we'll get you a seat. But it will be an open forum. This is what the foundation has accomplished, and we'll talk a bit too about what we'll do going forward, because I think that's important too. But we have a donor that is very interested. He is in the Queen Anne's County area, I should say that to start with. Very interested in education and very interested in that Wye River Upper School. So we exposed that donor to that project, and that donor said, yes, it is the type of project that I want to support. The project that I mentioned to you down in Dorchester County, it's far-reaching. It affects the whole 5-county area as well as even more far-reaching. We have a fund down there, and they're very interested in the types of services that that organization performs for the area, and they're numerous. And we exposed that donor group to that particular need, and they funded it. It's a commitment over 5 years. It's not just write a check for $450,000, and there's a match involved in it. You got to do this before we do that, and I like that. I think it's terrific. So that's a multi-million-dollar project, and this will provide a good start for it, certainly. So that's the way we do things. If we have a grant request that comes in here and we don't have funding to fund it, but we may know a donor, as I just mentioned with those two, we expose it to those donors. And we have pretty good success.
Kind of matchmaker service.
We do matchmake it. We do our best to matchmake because it's important.